Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello, and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Denisha Boston Hill, CEO, keeper of their brand, marketing, and digital agency.
We're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview top business leaders in the industry.
Yeah, and pretty excited about today. Helping provide us with business empowerment is someone who's known for helping people build links and drive traffic to their websites, something that I can use some help with, and I'm sure you could as well.
Yes.
So it's Andy Cabasso, and he's the co-founder of Postaga. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you here. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself so we can get to know you?
Oh, gosh, where do I start? I guess the short version of the entrepreneurial journey, years ago, I was actually, I still am, I wasn't like disbarred or anything, practicing lawyer. But when I was in law school, I noticed that a lot of the firms that I was applying to work at had really bad websites. And I was like, I have a bit of a marketing background. There's something I could do about this. And so I started a company building websites and doing marketing for lawyers. That business took off, and I stopped practicing, ran the marketing agency, grew it, sold it. And then from there started Postaga, which kind of the idea for it came about from my experience running a marketing agency, which was that trying to get better traffic for us and our clients needed a lot of link building, getting other sites to link to ours. And there wasn't really, I found a very scalable, repeatable way to do that. And so that's why I've built Postaga to solve for that problem.
Where did the name Postaga come from? That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a great name.
That is from my co-founder. The real answer is it's the only domain name available on the internet. We tried every combination of .com that there was. We tried Google with 12 O's. That was taken. Postaga was the only domain left that we could buy. And so that's what we ended up with. Actually, it's a bit of like a video game reference thing. And it worked, and it's available. And so we got it.
Cool.
That's funny. That's kind of how we name. So I work with Jovia Financial Credit Union. I run their business banking, and that's very similar to how we found our name, Jovia. It wasn't a name that necessarily meant anything, but you could kind of put into it what you want to put into it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. And you're like, all right, great. Jovia.com is available, and the social media handles are available because no one's thinking of that. And great.
And go team, go.
Now, considering how long that the internet has been around, it's crazy, but you still see nowadays websites that, you're like, oh, okay. Because pretty much for me, I mean, if I'm going to work with a business, I want to ensure that at least have some kind of web presence. And it has to, somewhat speak to what their business is. But in your words, and this may be a silly question, but why is the internet so important for a business?
Well, if you are a business, people are going to look you up online. Whether you're someone who is searching for a specific service or you've been referred to a specific service, you're going to do your due diligence. Back in the day when I was doing marketing for law firms, I got this question a lot, and I would see some law firms with no web presence, especially the older lawyers I've been in practice for 40 years. What do I need a website now for? And just how our habits have changed, we always go online to vet the businesses that we're going to work with. If it's going to a restaurant, it's wanting to see that they have good reviews and check out the menu. If it's hiring a lawyer, at the very least, wanting to be sure that the person I'm going to be paying hundreds to thousands of dollars to has relevant experience doing what I'm looking for. And so just as that checkup, you want to make sure that you have a good established web presence that can speak to what your customers and potential customers are looking for. Otherwise, that person who is looking for services like yours is going to keep going in Google and find the next company that actually does have their stuff together and has all the good positive reviews and can speak to providing the services that that person's looking for.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Why Postaga? What is it that is a differentiator for you, for your company?
So when it comes to search engine visibility, you want your website to rank above someone else's website for a specific term, whether it's, a marketing agency or a restaurant in a city or anything. What we've seen as the single biggest factor that determines how well your website ranks in Google is the quantity and quality of links to your website. What I mean by that is Google's algorithm is technically supposed to be like a mystery, but studies have been done and there are like correlations. And the most strong signal that we've seen is that if a bunch of other websites link to yours, all else being equal, your site will rank above someone else's for the specific keywords and terms that you want to rank for. The thing is, when I talk about quantity and quality is very important here. So like there are websites where they're like I don't want to name a website, but it rhymes with liver.com, where you could like pay someone $5 for a bunch of backlinks to your site. And those links are very bad because like it's just automated and the sites are not real, they're spammy, and that can hurt you more than anything else. But if you have real websites that are linking to yours, that signals to Google that your site and your content is relevant to your audience and your site is going to rank better. And so how our software and our platform works is we take a look at your site, take a look at your content, and find opportunities that are relevant for other websites to kind of outreach to them via email to say, hey, like I've got this article that talks about this topic. I see that you have an article about this topic and these dovetail each other nicely. I think you should link to our article. It would be a good resource for you. Oh, that sounds great. I'll link to you. Great. Now you got that link from that other site. That's a real website, and you'll in turn rank better.
So let me put it in layman's terms here for those people that are listening out there. Basically what Andy is saying, inexpensive and cheap is not always the way to go. Invest in a company and work with some people that really know what they're doing.
Yeah,
good advice, Andy.
There are things that you could do yourself. There are things that you could hire an agency for. Our goal is to make the whole process very accessible. But yeah, you're entrepreneurs, you're busy, so we get it. And so like a lot of people who are using our platform are either marketing agencies or in-house marketing roles and things like that. We've kind of seen that. So like our software is basically, it helps everything from like prospecting to find relevant websites to reach out to find the right contact people and then reach out to them via email. And we've seen it's used for things other than just search engine and link building. It's also like popular for people doing like PR. So doing outreach to other bloggers and journalists to try and promote their products, to get them to like write about and cover their businesses. Also like doing outreach for like sales and partnership opportunities and stuff like that too. So it's kind of a wide range of things. We started out with link building because that's what we know, but just kind of like from as we've grown over the last couple of years, people are using it in ways that we weren't anticipating, but it's still good to see.
What do you like about your business? What do you like about what you do? In
terms of like from the big picture of running a business, I like that how I'm able to contribute to other people's success. It's always a really great feeling to see like something that I've built has helped someone else achieve a goal of theirs. From my days with running a marketing agency to seeing people grow their businesses exponentially, to today helping see people increase their search rankings and traffic or get press coverage as they scale their businesses. Like that gratifying feeling you get has been like my favorite part.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of National Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Denisha Boston Hill, and our guest today is Andy Cabasso. He's the co-founder of Postaga. I'm seeing a lot of commonalities in what you're talking about, that it kind of is storytelling. I mean, you're doing storytelling with your platform, and helping people kind of experience the business online. Certainly linking to, spam sites. I mean, that just creates a negative impression. Now, what's your day-to-day like in helping these businesses or helping these advisors help businesses tell their story? What's your day-to-day like?
My day-to-day is all over the place. Running a business every day is very different. Quite often, I'm doing things like demos with our users to show, to give them ideas on how they could use our software for their business or their clients. Also doing things so we also have a service component as well, like a done for you outreach service. And so we have some clients as well who we're doing outreach for. And so I have a team, and I'm working with the team to make sure that our clients are getting the press coverage and getting the links that they're looking for. I'm also constantly working on our marketing as well. So for our marketing, I'm doing outreach using our platform to book myself guest spots on radio shows and podcasts like this one. So for example, I've been going on a podcast tour, and I've been using our software to find entrepreneurship and business podcasts and SEO podcasts to pitch myself to, so I could get in front of a new audience that hopefully hasn't heard of us yet. And by the end of the conversation, maybe likes what I've had to say and wants to check us out. And so I spend a lot of time when I'm not doing demos with clients and things like that, working on our marketing. I am not the technical person on the team. I am not good at coding. I have been told specifically not to touch any of our code.
I think that makes three of us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So yeah, marketing is more my speed.
Now, there are many tendrils to your business. It seems like, you start to cover one particular area, and then there's other areas you seem to also identify that there are some needs for businesses. And as a result, you've had some kind of offshoots of Postaga. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like Offsprout, for example.
Yeah. So Offsprout, I started a few years before Postaga. It kind of came about when I was doing the marketing agency with my co-founder, and so a thing that we were thinking about is we wanted an easier way for us as a marketing agency to be able to build websites for our clients. And so at the time, this was 2012, 2013 or so that we were starting on this, we didn't see that there were a lot of great options for marketing companies and web design agencies whose day-to-day was just building websites for our clients. And so we wanted to be able to leverage the templates that we've created. And for example, if you're in a specific niche, like we were with law firms, we would use sometimes a same sort of layout over again on multiple sites, because we don't want to reinvent the wheel every single time we do a personal injury law firm's homepage or bio pages and things like that. And so we built a website builder that would easily be able to work within our workflow. And we've been, after we built it, we started marketing it towards web designers and freelancers.
Sweet. So obviously you're working with a lot of different companies. You're not necessarily focusing on one particular area. I mean, starting certainly with legal. Are there any businesses that you can tell us about where you can say, all right, you can tell us the story about how this was really impactful for them, how your services really helped them kind of get to the next level?
Sure. Probably which I guess I have the most experience with was in our marketing agency. We worked with some, I guess the best way to say it was the firms that we worked with from their beginning. So there were a few law firms, including one that I'm thinking of, which is based in Long Island. A friend of mine now, he has a workers' compensation law firm. He was just starting out with his website and trying to build up his practice. And so we built them a website. We then focused on helping them create content for their site so they could rank as in Google for Long Island workers' compensation lawyer. And then I've seen over the last few years, as the site has grown more and more traffic, it takes on more and more clients. And then they've been able to build out their build out their practice and take on more clients. And I've just like seeing the growth there has been really cool and like really gratifying to see.
That's awesome. Is that how you measure success for some of your clients or most of your clients?
So yeah, I guess it can sometimes be a long-term game like that. Not game, but like a long-term process, especially when you're doing like marketing with like search engine optimization in particular, because it doesn't work overnight. Like if I suddenly create a bunch of blog articles and publish them today, I'm not going to rank number one in Google tomorrow. It is a very longer time horizon thing. Like it typically takes like 6 to 12 months to start seeing the real fruits of your SEO efforts. Running a marketing agency for many years, I would see like from the beginning, the clients that I started working with earliest, their just growth pick up over time. And so that was really cool.
Do your clients get that? Because some people, they go in and they say, okay, we know this is a marathon.
Right.
You know, they don't
some
know.
say that. And
right. But they still want to see it, right?
Well, so it scares some other marketing company owners when I talk about this. I've given a lot of talks on this, and I'm very adamant about rejecting clients that are not aligned with you. And so, like, for example, like when I ran an agency focusing on lawyers, I would not take on any client that was not a law firm. I had some people like reaching out to us saying like, hey, I got a recommendation from this law firm. We are a CPA firm. Can you work with us? And we would just say, no, I'm sorry, we can't work with you. Like, our goal here is to help you rank better in Google. And we have a lot of specific expertise with lawyers, not about CPA firms. And you'd be the first one we'd be taking on. And so we'd be learning it to some degree as we go with you. And I'm not comfortable charging you for that and like us learning on the job with it. So I would recommend that you go elsewhere. And so like I would not take on clients either that wouldn't be in the space that we were confident in, or if a client would like say like, you know what, I want to rank better in Google. And we'd say like, all right, well, here's what we need to do. And they'd say like, no, I don't have that in the budget. I'm like, okay, well, I want to be realistic with you. I am not able to achieve what your goals are based on your budget or based on your time horizon of you thinking it's going to be just, we build this site and then 3 months later or 2 months later, it's going to be number one in Google. Because at the end of it, you're going to be unhappy and then you're going to be upset with us. And I'm going to say, I told you so. And that's not a fun situation for any of us. So I would recommend that you go elsewhere. And so I would it can be tough as a business owner when someone's ready to hand you a check for some amount of money and you say, no, I'm sorry, we wouldn't be a good fit for you, because ultimately you want to do right by your clients.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the fair and ethical way to do things. And you do things right, it definitely helps. What are some of the misconceptions about what you do? I mean, I can think of probably a few, but let's hear from you. What are the misconceptions people have about you and your business? So
when it comes to like Postaga, which helps with email outreach, I think there is a big stigma about spamming and spammers. Like, oh, am I going to just cold email this random person I don't know? And like, I'm sure you get cold emails all the time. I get cold emails all the time. And a lot of them are just very generic or irrelevant. And like, it's frustrating because like, I get these pitches every day where it's like, dear sir, do you need web design services? We can provide them for you at $20 an hour or something like that. Or do you need an app developer? And so I hate that so very much, because like the person who's reaching out to me just blanket emailed as many people as they could email address it for, and without any regard for the relevance of it all. And so part of why I built this platform was to make sure that we could, one, find the right relevant people for your pitch to be very like aligned. So like when I'm reaching out to podcasts, I'm reaching out to like a entrepreneurship focused podcast with a specific pitch that is geared towards entrepreneurship to provide value for them and their audience. And, and it's a win-win situation. And so that's kind of the approach I want to take, is that I only want to connect with people that are going to be happy to get an email from me. They don't know who I am, but I have something of value to provide them, and it would be a win-win situation is really how I think of it.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Andy Cabasso, co-founder of Postaga. My name is Danisha Boston Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
I imagine another misconception that you probably have, or not that you have, but rather that folks might have about you is the do-it-yourselfers, the people who are like, you know what, I mean, I can do that. I can do that myself. Now, what do you have to say to people who are kind of like, I'm not sure I'm ready to pay for this platform or service because I just think I can handle it myself? What advice would you give them?
Sure. So our platform has a self-service option, so you can sign up and use our software to try to build links or get press coverage or things like that. But the people that we've seen have the most success with it in terms of the do-it-yourself is the people who have the time to dedicate to it. Doing cold outreach for link building or press or marketing is another role and responsibility that your business has to take on. And if you have the time to dedicate to it, awesome. And you can get great results with it, but it does need some time investment into it. The point of the software is that it saves you time from the otherwise tedious and manual efforts of prospecting to try and find relevant sites and find people's email addresses and then build and send those personalized emails for them. We streamline a lot, but you still do need to spend some time to find the right fit, find the right opportunities. And then after you send out the emails and you start getting responses, managing all that communication, it is another responsibility that someone on your team has to take on. And if you are like a solo founder of a startup or a small business, and you are the one responsible for marketing and operations and sales and everything, you may not have as much time as you think you do to be able to handle this all properly.
Now, what are the accomplishments that you're most proud of in what you do?
In terms of, I guess, some like wins and things like that, kind of like one example that I think of is like one of our early customers has a software, I guess, makes software specifically for musicians to promote their music and get it out there and get for musicians to like self-publish their music and get it onto Spotify and Apple and all these other platforms. And it's like, he is the operation, it's his business. And so he was looking to promote his brand, and he found us. And then within like a month of time that was really dedicated to doing outreach, he got coverage from they got write-ups in blogs about music industry, got featured on podcasts for music and music industry. I got like 30 different mentions in press outlets that were relevant to his audience, just with like a month of his dedicated effort to that, to help him get more visibility for his business. And there was a lot of work that went into it, but like just from month 0 to month 1, he got just a ton of more visibility for that business. And so that was really cool to see.
Yeah, that is pretty incredible. What would you give us as, say, like maybe the top 3 items that a business should consider or a marketing firm should consider when it comes to the online presence? What are the top 3 things that they need to consider?
Well, for me, the number one thing to consider is your target audience and understanding how they are using the internet. So if you're a restaurant, how are your customers using the internet? Are they looking through Yelp? Are they looking through Google? Or let's say they were checking it, they passed by your restaurant and they're going to do their research on you to make sure that you have good reviews and things like that. The single most important thing is knowing your target customer and understanding their habits online. Especially not too long ago, it was very common that you'd see all right, there's a restaurant here, I'm thinking about checking them out. They've got no internet presence, or their website is just atrocious, and it's I go to the website because I want to know what their hours are and I want to see what their menu is. And so many of the restaurants would not have like a menu, or the menu would not be easily viewable on my phone. And so like user experience is super important. In terms of like three different things, I have one thing that I care about, and that's where is my target audience, and how are they browsing? What are their habits like? What are their behaviors like? And how can I build my web presence that better aligns with their expectations and what they're looking for?
Now, with Postaga, you're serving many different industries. So for the entrepreneur out there, I want to ensure that they understand, you have the self-service option, but is it a monthly subscription? Do you also customize? Can you talk a little bit about your services?
Yeah. So in terms of like the self-service, the DIY option for using Postaga for link building or getting press coverage and things like that, it's a monthly subscription. Basically, you pay a monthly fee. It starts at $99 a month, and you have access to the platform, which can help you run your outreach campaigns. Like, let's say, and kind of like, for example, like with the workflow. Let's say I'm looking for podcasts. First step of the process, I want to do a podcast campaign. Then I have to pick a keyword. So I'll search for entrepreneurship podcasts. Then it'll give me a list of actively running entrepreneurship podcasts. I can click on them. I could review them if I want and see if they're a good fit. And then after that, I click the next button, and then Postaga will find email addresses that are working for these podcasts. And then from there, I can create email sequence that's geared towards these podcasts. And so we have a bunch of templates, so you don't have to start from scratch. And so like for example, like my pitch to a podcaster is like, hey, I was recommended your podcast. I have some ideas for an episode featuring me. Here's what I think would be like a good topic for your audience. And then like a few bullet points of topics. And then here's why I would be a good guest. And then I talk about my relevant experience, and then like, what do you think about that? And then I have like a follow-up email sequence in case they didn't reply to the first email. And then I customize that for my campaign, and then click a button, and then magically it all goes out there. That's kind of like how the whole process works. And so if you're doing it yourself, it's a lot quicker than doing each of these things manually. But yeah, we also have a done for you service where my team will basically have a conversation. I want to know what your goals are, what you're looking to get out of doing outreach. And then we build and send outreach campaigns on your behalf.
And now, how can people find you?
People want to find me. I'm pretty easy to find on the internet. I'm the only Andy Cabasso that I know of. So my website is postaga.com, postaga.com. On Twitter, I'm at Andy Cabasso, LinkedIn, Andrew Cabasso. And we also have a Facebook group that's called Grow Together SEO. That is all about SEO, cold outreach, digital marketing, and all that.
I like to leave you with DB's philosophy. We are all now connected by the internet, like neurons in a giant brain. Stephen Hawkins.
We want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Denisha Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. This is an NCC Foundation production. Visit nccradio.org for more information. We're available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and as a podcast on iTunes. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the National Community College Foundation on the voice of National Community College, 90.3 WHPC.